From translation, Net New English Translation, this 152 day of the year, today we are reading passages, Job 1-4 Job chapter 1, verses 1 to 22. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. That man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 teams of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household, so that this man was the greatest of all the people in the East. His sons used to hold feasts in their houses, each on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When the days of the feast had run their course, Job would send for them and sanctify them. Early in the morning he would offer burnt offerings for each of them, for Job thought, perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. This is what Job always did. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Then Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." The Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil." Then Satan answered the Lord, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him and his house and all that he has, on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand now and strike all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your hand, only do not stretch out your hand against himself." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them. They also killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands, made a raid on the camels and took them. They also killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another came and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead, and I alone have escaped to tell you." Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell on the ground and worshipped. He said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." In all this Job did not sin or charge God with wrong. Job chapter 2, verses 1 to 13 again. There was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them to present himself before the Lord. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Then Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." The Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil. He still maintains his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without reason." Then Satan answered the Lord, "Skin for skin. Yes, all that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now and strike his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face." So the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, he is in your hand, only spare his life." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and struck Job with severe boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself while he was sitting among the ashes. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still maintain your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God and not accept evil?" In all this Job did not sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that had come upon him, each of them came from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. They met together to come and console and comfort him. When they lifted up their eyes from a distance, they did not recognize him. They raised their voices and wept aloud. They tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads toward the sky. They sat down with him on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that his suffering was very great. Job chapter 3, verses 1 to 26. After this Job opened his mouth, and cursed the day of his birth. And Job said, "May the day perish on which I was born, and the night that said, a man is conceived. May that day be darkness. May God above not seek it, nor light shine upon it. May gloom and deep darkness claim it. May it be overshadowed by clouds. May the blackness of the day terrify it. As for that night, may thick darkness seize it. may it not rejoice among the days of the year. May it not come into the number of the months. May that night be barren, may no joyful cry come in it. May those who curse the day curse it, those who are ready to rouse Leviathan. May the stars of its dawn be dark. May it hope for light, but have none, and may not see the eyelids of the dawn, because it did not shut the doors of my mother's womb, or hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth, come out from the womb and expire? Why did the knees receive me, or why did the breasts nurse me? For then I would have lain down and been quiet, I would have slept. Then I would have been at rest, with kings and counselors of the earth who rebuild ruins for themselves, or with princes who have gold, who fill their houses with silver. Or why was I not as a hidden stillborn child, as infants who never see the light? There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary are at rest. The prisoners are at ease together, they do not hear the voice of the taskmaster. The small and the great are there, and the slave is free from his master. Why is light given to him who is in misery, and life to the bitter of soul, who long for death, but it does not come, and dig for it more than for hidden treasures, who are glad for joy when they find the grave, and rejoice that they are in the grave? Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes instead of my bread, and my groanings are poured out like water. For the thing that I fear comes upon me, and what I dread befalls me. I am not at ease, nor am I quiet, I have no rest, but trouble comes. Job chapter 4, verses 1-21. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If one ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? Yet who can keep from speaking? Behold, you have instructed many, and you have strengthened the weak hands. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling, and you have strengthened the feeble knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence, and your integrity your hope? Think now, who that was innocent ever perished? Or where were the upright cut off? As I have seen, those who plough iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they are consumed. The lioness for the lack of prey might waste her cubs, and the lioness, finding no prey, might starve its young. The lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. Now a word was secretly brought to me, my ear caught a little of it. Amid disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on people, dread came upon me and trembling, which made all my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face, the hair of my flesh stood up. It stood still, but I could not recognize its appearance. A form was before my eyes. There was silence, then I heard a voice saying, Can mortals be just before God? Can human beings be pure before their Maker? Even in his servants he puts no trust, and his angels he charges with error. How much more in those who live in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed like the moth. Between morning and evening they are destroyed. They perish forever, with no one regarding it. Is not their tent cord plucked up within them? They die without wisdom.